What a weekend. What a few days we've got to look forward to. 5 days of glorious Goodwood on the horizon, and we go there with a brilliant card at Ascot and some nice stars at York on the Knavesmire as well this weekend. Cannot wait to get stuck into the action. As you can see, Jason and Joel joining me as always. And I'm going to start with Joel because you're back-to-back winning naps and you landed a massive gamble. You're on at fancy prices last week. We were just talking about it off air and high five there. You are a man in form.
Yeah, I was just saying to Jace before we started today, it's so weird how you can be in form for 2 or 3 weeks. Suppose like Aidan O'Brien or whatever, or Charlie Appleby. You're flying in form, and then suddenly you fall off a cliff, and everything you tip, everything you back, and you're going, I can't do this anymore. But last week, we're in a bit of fire at the minute. We've had a couple of good gambles, a couple of good ones that have popped up on the tracker. So hopefully we're flying for this weekend. But yeah, high five were brilliant last week, and a James Bowen special for James Owen.
It certainly was. And Jason, I mean, what a weekend this. I mean, the King George we'll get onto in a short while. What a race. One for the ages.
Do like the angle in that we've got the two Japanese raiders in. Look, we know that Wuttenberg, however you want to call him, is a bit of a stayer, if you like, but he brings in some strong form. Is he going to put this pace to the contest in here? He's a fascinating runner, of course, with Aidan with a strong challenge, and he will have some idea of how he wants the race to be run. But I was up there on Wednesday. I also saw Masquerade board. He's absolutely flying, bucking and kicking, was in great form and put up a pretty impressive piece of work up the middle, up Long Hill on Wednesday morning. So look, he comes there all guns blazing. It's a belter.
Absolute crack. We'll get onto that in a short while. We've got 8 races to look forward to, 7 in front of the ITV cameras. We've got a Betfred handicap as well at Ascot, which we're going to try and solve. We're going to start, though, you mentioned the Japanese, the Japan Cup. There's Princess Margaret, though, Japan Cup at 145 for the juvenile fillies, Jace.
Yeah, look, I wanted to think that Alta Regina would just get the job done. However, when I watched back the run last time, she jumped and she went forward in the Queen Mary. And I'm not saying she ran with the choke out, but she got a really good ride from James McDonald. He was able to get her back on an even keel and sort of finish off her race quite nicely. Lots of unknowns in here. I mean, Moonrise ran an absolute belter at 66-1. I just got a sneaky feeling that maybe Dark Issue can get the job done. You'll remember Arista was a Group 1 winner in these particular colours previously for the Hannon Camp, and I thought she ran really well at the Royal Meeting, so she'll do for me. Dark Issue.
Yeah, I like her as well. Good win at Goodwood, 4th at the Royal Meeting for Richard Hannon. I quite liked her. Joel?
Pretty much what Jay said about the Fav there. Jay Makoff and Spencer did a good turn a couple of weeks ago. He's on. Extra furlong's probably got a suit. However, you know, if you're in form, go for a flyer. And it's probably one that'll end about the back of the telly is Miss Cody here for Clive Cox. Won on debut by 7 lengths. Look, the second horse has done pretty much now since, run twice. The third has won. Is it E-Bar? I think, won last time out. Was 3-1 on when Miss Cody beat debut. 5 weeks between runs. I was doing a little bit of research last night, a bit bored. She's a Cody Bear. And pretty much do well 5 and 6 at York. 16-1, taking on 2-1. I think this favourite should take all the beating. But as a little each way play at a big double figure price, I thought Miss Cody, massive step up in trip, in class rather, but let's just see what happens.
Okay, we stick with the fairest sex then in the Valiant at 220. Obviously, it centres around Talene. Jason, luckless run in the Coronation. Does compensation await? She's short enough.
She is short. Look, I think that she's going to win. It's interesting that Buick gets the call. Now, he managed to win on her at Leicester, and then things went wrong when she saw a lot of daylight up at Newmarket under Buick. The thing she has to do from 7, I think they've got to drop her in. That's going to be the trick going around here. If they ride her wide and handy, I'm just covering all bases here. If they ride her wide and handy in daylight, I think she'll get beat. I think she's one of those who needs a little bit of cover and holding up in behind runners. Look, at 5-6, it's a massive class drop, isn't it, from chasing home precise around here. Surely she's going to get the job done, isn't she?
Okay, sticking with the Fav then. Jay, let's just comment about that. So William Buick on board. Safi is at Ascot. Penny for her thoughts.
Yeah. Oh, like, listen, back in the day, I was in the era of Pat Edery, and he didn't need a crowbar to get you off. Trust me. You used to ride something in a maiden, and it was running in a listed race the next week. You were thinking, oh, I'm down for that. Oh no, Pat's name was down on it when the entries came out. Absolute sickener for all jockeys. And don't doubt, Safi will be in that weighing room. She'll be watching that running round and thinking, that should be me. Hope it doesn't win.
Joel?
Yeah, I'll echo Jason's thoughts as far as Safi goes. I think she's great anyway, Safi. You know, there's certain jocks, and I know as next jock, you never get stuck into them. And I won't mention any names, but when you look down the list of jocks that are, jocked up, and you go, yeah, oh yeah, that's a positive. Yeah, he's all right, she's all right, whatever. There's certain jocks you don't go near. I mean, there's one jock that I've never met in my life, but I've got hatred for him. Right? I'll tell you about him afterwards. But I think Safi didn't do massively anything wrong on that horse, and I think she's top class. I think she wins, like you say, but just one at an each way price. We talk about jocks booked up early, and Willie McCreary booked up Oshin nice and early for Sky Dance. He had a runner in the last year. I think it finished, it was third or fourth, so knows what it's about. I think that the Fab just goes and wins, and Jane Chabelheim's gone to the trouble of booking Ryan Moore. But later on, she's got Christoph Sumi on as well, so she's been getting the old black book out. I don't know what she's doing to get all these top jocks, but yeah, I think favourite wins, and a little each way on Sky Dance, so I made the forecast.
Okay, then. Favourite wins, then the Valley. Then we've got the big handicap, of course, the international over 7 furlongs, the straight 7 furlongs, one of these specialist Ascot contests. You mentioned Safi will be watching the Valiant on Tulane. She's got a good ride, though, an amazing journey. Already a winner at the track recently, Jace.
Yeah, look, £5 well in with the £3 penalty. Going up in distance, likely to be towards the sort of single digits, if you like. Look, you know, I'm a Haggis groupie. Extremely Zane could be the group horse in a handicap, couldn't he? You know, the way he's managed to win so far. And I fully expect him to win. But if people are looking for one at a bit of a price, Satar has done nothing but improve since he's gone across to the Horton team. Interesting, we talk about the jockeys. Barcelona gets the call up for him, for James Horton. Probably made his move a little bit early. I don't think that he'll mind coming back down to 7 furlongs when he ran here previously. So I just thought he was one at double digits. I'd give him a roll of the dice at an each way price. Obviously, Horton, the horse that got chinned on the line at Sandown, Rosser, 28 days. Boom, there goes your Jockeys Championship.
Yeah, I'd backed it for the Jockeys Championship as well. Absolutely gutting. That's ruled him out of that 28-day ban for that ride at Sandown on Thursday. Joel, what wins the international?
Extremely Zane, group horse and handicap. You know, all the cliches. I'm absolutely aware of that. An each way price, Arcadian Thunder for David Amara. Only 3 1/4 lengths behind the Fav here a month ago. If you look at most of the rides I was doing last night, always held up. Jamie Spencer now booked over the straight, right at Ascot. He's either come last or get beaten by nose. But look, favourite looks great. But do you want to be taking 15 to 8, 2 to 1? I'm probably going to be shorter on the day.
Okay, then. Favourite fancied in the international. Now we get to it then, the feature, the King George and Queen Elizabeth Stakes, the big midsummer middle distance Group 1 contest. We've got horses from all over the world, Japan, France, Ireland, and of course England, descending on Ascot. But also, Jason, we're bringing some of the best jockeys. I mean, think of obviously Zach Purden, Moreira, and Hugh Bowman. Apart from them, Barcelona, Sumion, Buick, Christophe Lemaire, Murphy, Moore, Keane, Lord, and Levy. Massive names in the saddle on some of the best equine athletes we've got to offer over this trip.
Yeah, and look, just the jockeys angle. You know, you see them as young riders, and you think physically they're in tremendous shape and they're up to about, that peak level. And then you come in from the other side, you're asking for that wisdom, aren't you? And then when you have both of those things aligned together, that's when you get the complete jockey. It happens at different stages in different disciplines, but these jockeys been around a little while, but all things, the wisdom and the athleticism is sort of joined up together. Makes for a brilliant tactical contest. Interesting. Ryan with Benvenuto. I think that he's going to have to step up dramatically on what he's shown so far, going in against the older boys, even allowing for the huge chunk of weight for age. 2 previous winners line up. Calandigan, disappointing at Epsom, much better over in France, but it was in a lower contest, wasn't it? Is he the same? And then you got Goliath. I think his form ties in nicely with Kalpana. For me, she's the one who's sitting on a massive effort. We saw the way that Balding managed to get Blue Bolt to peak at the Falmouth at the July meeting. I think she's a massive player. Punters head on as well. 8-1 in this field. Why is she not an each way play?
Yeah, she was last year, second, of course, to Calandigan. We know she loves it at Ascot as well. Kalpana then for the Red Hot Balding team right now. Joel?
I've only had one bet this weekend, and it's an each-way bet, and it's Goliath. Watched about that Hardwick race last night again. Back to that day, I think on 5s, it was when I've 7-2, just outside the final furlong, and it was like, what was he doing here? Has it saddle slipped or whatever? He... Christophe Soumillon, the irons went, didn't he? Couldn't get back. Was third that day. I mean, look, 6-year-old, so what? Joint top oldest in there. Calandigan, that Coronation Cup 4th, it was on the softer side of good. Looks like the horse is so much better on good to firm with how he races, but Goliath already in at 12s. I think it's still probably that price now, 10s maybe. Each way, I think it's one of those beautiful each way bets this weekend. I mean, are you talking about the other horse in this, Jace, the Japanese horse?
Yeah, Masquerade Ball.
Yeah. We saw it a couple of weeks ago. Do they come over here and they get punted? And then how often do they deliver? You know what I mean?
Oh, no, see, the thing with them, because they run against the clock back home, and his form ties in with Calandigan, right? There were nothing between them in the Japan Cup. So the form is rock solid. He's training well. He actually ran really well over a trip too short over in Hong Kong. Trainer thought he was a little bit unlucky speaking to him the other day. So, look, but I look at the race and I think, yeah, he's coming over from Japan. We want an international winner. It's a bit of a lazy pick, isn't it? Calandigan, you look at him, you think last year's winner. He's a little bit of a lazy pick. You're asking him to get back up to the form that he showed previously. I didn't think his win last time was as good as what he has been. But of course, he's got that inflated rating of 130. And the pair of us, we've gone in there thinking, right, we'll bin off Benvenuto, maybe Mini Hawks. He's on a bit of a recovery, if you like. But the two that are at the wrong price, Goliath and Kalpana. We might even have the exacta.
Get in, Chase. Right, we're on.
I quite like it, a little lazy pick. I quite like Masquerade Ball, and for those reasons you say, chinned by head by Calandigan in the Japan Cup. I know £3 worse off now, but that run behind Romantic Warrior over 10 furlongs, one of the best horses in the world. Is Calandigan the same horse? All right, grounded Epsom, just got up at long odds on at St. Cloud. Even going back in Masquerade, a mile and a half, quick ground are his conditions, and even that second to Quadra Nord is red hot form. And I think at more than twice the price of Calandigan, I'd much rather be back in the Japanese Raider than the French horse. But you're right, obviously Kalpana and Goliath, they love it round Ascot. They've been there, they've done it. Big chances for those. They are cracking each way bets, but I think Masquerade Ball, Japan might win the King George, and then will they finally get the Arc de Triomphe that they covet, of course, come October. So I'm with Masquerade Ball, Jason Kalpana, Joel Goliath. It is a fantastic race, the King George and Queen Elizabeth Stakes, a race for the ages at Ascot on Saturday afternoon. Delighted to say I'll be there. Of course, we've got the Betfred handicap at 4:45 as well, not on TV, but as we sponsor, thought I'd get the boys to try and delve into this and have a look. We've got a couple of hat-trick seekers going for Glory, Jace.
Yeah, good contest. Some horses in here that have cost me a few quid as well, notably Blue RC at the top, who keeps on threatening, but it doesn't quite happen. You're right. Grisdale, 82.87, Kempton Newbury now up to a mark of 96, looks tough enough. I'm fascinated, and he's a jockey that I've got I keep a close eye on. William Pyle has got 2 rides on the card. This lad, Frankie's Dream, and also Pilgrim, who goes in the Lucky Last as well. massively underrated jockey he is, and it just might suit Frankie's dream style. I think arguably his best performance was when he came from the clouds to win at York. Not an easy thing to do. Much better suited to the straight mile here. First try, I think he'll get the job done. He's also burnt my fingers a couple of times, mind.
Yeah, interesting. And I'm glad you mentioned Pilgrim as well, because I thought he had a massive chance. Well, Ascot won, of course, a couple of years ago in the last yard. Not firing, but I thought Pilgrim could go well in the finale as well. Right, Joel, what wins the Betfred handicap for you?
I do like Grisdale in here. Ray Dawson's won on the horse. Jason Watson's won on the horse. Now Oshin has a go. We talked about Kempton, we talked about Newbury. The horse edges left out the gates. I think it was the last race, the one before, buffeted around. I think if you played him running, you'd have got probably a triple figure price. Stays on so well. Maybe a bit high in the handicap, but I thought I'd just go for that. It was one of the stronger ones this weekend, but I know what Jay says about. But it's horse in form. Your man in form's booked. Yeah. I thought it was head of the handicapper, but now Jace puts it out there, probably not.
It's interesting that you say the handicap. I'm just trying to. There's Ibrahim Nader, the Cougars have been using in these the Gary and Leslie Middlebrook colours. I was talking to Chester a few weeks ago. He's a champion jockey in Bahrain. Actually, he rode around Chester. I tell you what, he was fearless. Went straight down the inside. Obviously, he's probably never seen Chester before, but yeah, fearless and could be certainly worth his claim. I think he claims a few pounds. I think. So yeah, Ibrahim Nader. Keep an eye on him. They'll be using him quite a bit, and obviously the Kublers out in Bahrain as well. Right, talk to us about Ascot. Cracking card on the Knavesmire as well at York, and then one of these novelty races, Jay. So it's a big field handicap. The jump jockeys at Nunthorpe. We say about this. Obviously, they're chased by ambulances. They're up and over fences, but I tell you what. They'll never have gone as fast as they have done in the jump jockeys Nunthorpe this afternoon.
And it's funny, right? That I often speak about the flat lads. You can often see them pick one up from 4 down, and they know they've been in a race when they pull up. And the jumps lads, you think, oh, they must be so much fitter. You never seem to see them blowing as much. But the thing is, every time they get to an obstacle, they get a chance to have half a breather, a little bit of a sit. You fill your lungs again, and then you go, don't you? So it's a different sort of discipline. And the boys will know that they've been in a race when they come down here after skipping along over 5 furlongs. 2, I'm going to have one either side, if that's all right. Almaty Star, he's a bit of a character. He needs to get away sharply. He's nearly one of those that you have to wait for him to jump to make sure that everything's in sync with him. But he's certainly very talented, and he goes in the high numbers. The one that looks as if he's been not so much laid out for the race, but managing director was a pretty nice horse when he was trained by Brian Smart. He's only having his second try for the Aldroyd team. They managed to win this last year with Air Force One, who goes a little bit later on. Off a 630-day break, he was a massive eye catcher at Beverley last time. So they're one either side of the park.
Okay, one other side then for the jump jockeys Nunthorpe, Joel.
I'm really surprised this race is on ITV. We say it's a novelty race, but trying to explain to a punter that actually this is jump jockeys on a flat track. It's interesting that you've got one of the Irish lads coming over as well. But it's something that I didn't spend too much time on. Went back in history, and Paul Midgley was your man to follow in this. Won 3 from the last 8, but he's got the top 2 in the market and 1 down the bottom. Let's have a look. There's one of the other... the form figures are Duck Eggs. I think John Joe was on it. All the way down here. What was it called? Is it
King's Call?
Yeah, King's Call. Look at that. The Rower Duck Eggs, 25-1. If that was trained by a certain Irish trainer, AJ Martin, 25 years ago, that would have been 2-1 favourite and would have hacked up. I mean, look, there's one horse in form here. And I think 11-1, you've just got to have a little look. Tom Tate and Caelan Quinn. Bayrat. May, June, July, 1 over 5.5, second over 5.5, and 2 seconds at Redcar at 5.5. So, or 6 rather. So, yeah, it's a race that I wouldn't massively. But you know what? I'm not involved at all. But if you want a selection on form figures, Bayrat.
Okay, then let's have a look. This doesn't get any easier. We've got 22 stretched across the Knavesmire, then over 6 furlongs in the dash. Absolute belter, Jay. You want a couple of darts?
Yeah, look, I mean, a lot of people say, well, yeah, I suppose a lot of punters will look at this and they'll go, Red Spells Danger has found an extra leg since being dropped down in distance. You know, set off, one of those was a long sprint specialist, if you like, and then all of a sudden has found an extra gear, but probably going to be a little bit tight for me in the market. Some old favourites in here, as I mentioned, Air Force One, he won the jump jockeys race last year. Stratus 9, interesting on his second here back in May. You've got 5,000 to one who I mentioned. I like in here Apollo 1 finally has come down to a mark that he can be competitive. Now, he's ran here previously at York on a couple of occasions and run really well in some tough contests. Danny Tudhope, who gets the call on him, managed to win the Ben Goff on him at Ascot, so he knows how to get a good tune out of him. He'd be the each-way play. I think that he's finally come down to a mark he can win. I can't knock Red Spells Danger out of the 3.
Okay, then, yeah, Apollo 1's interesting. He's running all those big handicaps over the last couple of years. Joel?
Yeah, I'm quite strong on one here, and it was backed up by speaking to the trainer at Chester, Hugo Palmer, the Stratus 9. Had a different jockey on every single time. David Egan, Schumacher, Goshino, Jason Watson, the brilliant Jason Hart. I've always thought this horse is a 5.5 furlong horse, but both wins have come at 6. 8th at Royal Ascot was 50 to 1 that day, drawn near side, and was only beaten, 3/4 a length third at Chester that last time. That's when I was speaking to Hugo Palmer at the tote window. And I'm like, okay, go on then, give us one. I had a few yards in me. And he went Stratus 9, Ascot. How about you like on?
He's running at York, though.
Sorry, York. You know what? That's me cover. That's me cover. Yeah.
He's the one that slipped on the bend, wasn't he, at the May meeting?
Yes, yeah. He's super, super talented, and he's got some strong form down that strip at York as well. So he's a player.
Yeah. So he said, have what you like on when you see him run at Cartmel. That's
brilliant.
Fine.
All right, Donna on board that. And obviously the reason he's gone to York is to ride Damascus for Wathlin. Big week for Wathlin, of course, with 5 days of Glorious Goodwood to look forward to. But this York Stakes is an absolute belter, Jace.
It is. Top Horse has got to carry the penalty for his Neom Cup win. Wouldn't all the way down here, look at every single runner and you can find an angle in, can't you, to think that they're going to win. I feel sorry for Demisius, don't you? The way that he's been sort of campaigned, the way it happened last year, the way it's happened this year as well. I mean, after his Earl of Sefton win at Newmarket, I thought, what a rocket. We're going to see something special. Back to the mile, no good. Back to the mile, no good. Finally goes up in distance. You keep looking at it. I think he's going to be the answer to a tricky contest. We obviously haven't seen the best of Item. He's running the Betfred Derby. I think we could put a line through that. And he comes back here. 2 Dante winners. Oh, what an absolute belter. But Demisius,
then, yeah, he's a massive, big bull of horse, isn't he? I think going back up and trip could certainly be key. Joel?
Yeah, I like Demisius. The 2 horses I feel sorry for this weekend. One is Demisius, and the other one is Ombudsman. Probably running as a pacemaker. I think nothing offends me, but that quite offends me. Anyway, back to York. I really like Pride of Aris here. 2 from 2 at the track. Had 220 odd days off, and then went to Saint-Cloud. Picked up, was it 32 grand for finishing 4th? Was that right? Or was that no? It was a Bahrain Trophy, wasn't it? He went to Saint-Cloud and finished 8th of 8th, which is a little day out there. But to tick the boxes, 11 1/4 lengths behind Clandagan. I just thought that was a little bit of prize money and a little day out. Like I say, 2 from 2. Rossa will be wanting all the winners, possibly can, and won the was it the Great
Voltager?
Yeah. As well. So we know I like to track. So and Rossa on board as well that will want to make amends for those 28 days when he's on a cruise ship.
Yeah, killing my Jockey's Championship there at the same time. Do you mean Lambourne, not Ombudsman?
Yeah, Lambourne. Sorry, yeah. Isn't that there's action? There's action. Is it action?
Lambourne, yeah.
And
Betfred Derby winner. There's a pacemaker.
Yeah. That was it. Yeah. I was it Scorpion years ago that was also a pacemaker.
No, not Scorpion. Serpentine.
Serpentine, that was it. Yeah, just
Right. Best bets time. 8 races covered. Unbelievable day of action. Jace, what's the good thing?
Shorty, I think Tulene's going to win, isn't she? But I can't give you a 5 to 6 poke. That'll be the cornerstone of many an accumulator. I think, and I like him as a rider. William Pyle on Frankie's Dream, held up for the Candlish team, fast and late at Ascot. That'll do. Frankie's Dream at a bit of a price.
Okie dokie. Frankie's Dream. Joel?
We're going in the dash 2 o'clock at York, and we're going for Stratus 9, or if you've got a Southern commentator that day, it'll be Stratus 9. But Stratus 9 after Trish Stratus from the WWE right back in the day, Hugo Palmer, James Doyle, 7 to 1. Hugo said, when this horse runs at Fairview, have what you like on it.
How did you manage to shoehorn wrestling into this show?
Oh, well, you know.
It's a knack. Right, brilliant stuff, boys. Really good show. 8 races covered. Hopefully plenty of winners amongst them. Don't forget Glorious Goodwood next week as well. I'll have lots of offers on that. 5 brilliant days down in the beautiful Sussex Downs. We go there via a fantastic day of racing action. Best of luck, whatever you're back in this weekend.